Check 1, 2. Check. Check 1, 2. Check. Check.
Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to Wainwright. Sorry for a bit of a late start there, but we are in action here as the Rustlers host the Forestburg Flyers here on the first game of 2026. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, enjoyed your holidays, and we're back at it here with East Central Senior Hockey League action as the Rustlers set up in the offensive zone. James fires a shot that's kicked aside. And now battle behind the Forestburg net. Carson James gets to the puck first, gets it to the point to Fletcher. Back to James, and he flips it in behind the net. Fletcher's there to scoop it up. Leaves it there for James, and his backhander is scooped out of the air and held onto for a faceoff. Rustlers win the faceoff again, but that pass is picked off, and now the Flyers off to the races. A breakaway, and the Rustlers take a penalty. It's going to be a hooking call. The referee, Alex George, with the call, and it's going to be Miller heading to the box. 2 minutes for hooking, and the Flyers will get the first power play opportunity of the evening. Rustlers come into this one with a 7-4 record on the season, sitting about mid-pack in standings, just above mid-pack. And the Flyers winless on the season so far, looking for their first victory of the year. They've got a record of 0-9-2 and sit at the bottom of the league table to start the new year. Now, chance for the side of the net, and Goodwin kicks that one aside. The Flyers get the puck up to the point. Park tries to get it deep, but Fletcher stands him up along the wall. Forestburg still able to work the puck in behind the net and then walk around the zone. Out to the far corner, and Horn lays a big hit. Then he picks up the puck, steps around the pressure, and is able to clear it out of the zone and all the way down the ice. And now we got a man down. Rustlers taking another penalty. As the whistle blows. And it's going to be a tripping call. Carson Weens is laying on the ice. A little bit uncomfortable as he got tripped up and fell hard. And now the Rustlers, for the next 43 seconds or less, will be down 2 skaters. We got the penalty kill unit of Kelvin Hamilton, Connor James, and Carson Fletcher. And the Flyers take quick advantage of the 2-man advantage as it's Levi Congdon firing one home, blocker side. And the Flyers take an early 1-0 lead in this one, just over 2 minutes into the first period. Goaltenders tonight for the Rustlers is Nolan Goodwin getting the start. And on the other side of the rink, it is Brendan Davis for the Flyers. Flyers quickly work it up ice, but Berg there to break up the rush. A little spinorama, fires the puck down ice, ends up right on net. Minute 15 left in the second Rustler penalty as the Flyers Can't connect on the stretch pass and take an icing call on the power play. Flyers win the draw, looking to take their time and set up a breakout from behind their own net. Fletcher picks off the cross ice pass, sends it all the way down the ice. Now the Flyers get the puck in deep in the near corner in Rustler territory. We got a 4-man battle for the puck. Puck squirts loose, and Connor James picks it up, fires it the length of the ice, and there's now 10 seconds left in the Carson James penalty. He's standing and ready to get back on the ice. Flyers just stay on side, and then the Rustlers force a turnover. They can't do much with it. Flyers come back the other way. They get across the blue line, fire a long shot towards the net, and it's steered aside by the blocker of Goodwin. And now Miller from behind the net. Little spinorama in the corner. Give himself a little space, and he feeds the puck forward to James. James to Fletcher. Nice little pass. Fletcher comes in, fires and scores. Blake Fletcher ties it up. Going low glove side from the left wing after a nifty little pass from Carson James. And we've got ourselves a 1-1 hockey game, about 4.5 minutes into the first period.
Fletcher from James for 15-27.
Flyers enter the zone. Can't connect on the pass across the blue line, though. And Miller picks up the loose puck behind his own net. Feeds it forward towards Clausen. Leggett scoops it up, though. Right in front of us, in front of the penalty box, as he turns and fires it in behind the Flyers' net. Carson Fletcher with a nice turnover at center ice. His backhander goes off a stick, though, and up over the net. Now he's got a chance at the side of the goal, but the wraparound attempt doesn't cash in. Now Connor James picks up a little speed down the left wing as he enters the zone. Nice pass out to the high slot, and that shot from Fletcher went wide, but the whistle blew as the net got knocked off its moorings. Flyers win the draw, but a lot of pressure from Chase Fletcher immediately forces a turnover behind the net. Now a chance in front. That shot blocked. Comerford with a second opportunity, but his stick was tied up and he couldn't pull the trigger on a shot. James keeps it inside the blue line, controls the bouncing puck, steps into the slot, takes his time, comes in, fires and scores. Connor James with a great one-man effort to knock down the bouncing puck at the blue line, skates around a couple defenders, skates right up the middle of the ice, in tight at the top of the blue paint, tucks one home to give the Rustlers their first lead of the night.
How much of those? Connor Jamie, unfisted. Oh, it's me. Unfisted, I can't see.
We'll get a whistle here as the Flyers are just half a stride offside. Face off upcoming outside the Russell blue line. 13:34 left to go in this first period. And Fletcher wins the draw for the Rustlers. Berg gets it to Dicker. Lays a hit as he made the pass and a chance in front. And Carson James got denied by Davis deep in the blue paint. Now Dicker from the side of the goal steps out, pass out front, but Fletcher couldn't get a whole lot of that one. Flyers pick up the loose puck and they come the other way. Strauss loses it in the corner. Miller's there to pick it up. His pass gets knocked down, but he picks the puck up once again. He gets it to Dicker. Across the way to James, but couldn't pick up the pass cleanly, and that was just enough for Fletcher to go offside. So the whistle blows. Leggett lost control of it crossing the blue line. Now the Flyers try to work it up the wall, but some pressure from the Rustlers broke up that rush, and now we're going to get another Rustler penalty, their third of the night, and maybe more as Leggett's helmet comes off. His gloves came off too, but couldn't get his opponent to join in the shenanigans. That's going to be 2 minutes for boarding for Brett Leggett. And the Rustlers back on the penalty kill for the third time tonight. The Flyers' one goal so far has come on the power play. Rustlers win the draw. Fletcher swings around the wall, lands nicely on Woodward's stick. He chips it forward. He's got the puck back and he feeds it over to Hamilton, but the pass right behind him. Couldn't get a clean shot off. And the shot ended up sliding right through the blue paint. The Rustlers back it up, take their time before sending it down ice. But it doesn't make its way all the way down the ice. And the Flyers pick up the puck. Now chance in tight, and the Rustlers are going to take another penalty. It's going to be Connor James. It's going to be holding as he hauled down Brian Roth on his way to the net. And for the second time in this first period, the Rustlers will be down 2 skaters. It's going to be a 5-on-3 power play for the Flyers for a minute and 30 seconds or less. Carson James, Ty Miller, and Josh Berg are the 3-man penalty kill unit. Miller picks off a pass, and then he gets upended. And the Rustlers will get a little bit of reprieve as Miller draws a penalty. And the Flyers will take 2 for hooking. It's going to be Carson Weens heading to the box. And we're going to have 4-on-3 hockey. A minute and 9 seconds remaining in the first Rustler penalty. And they have an offensive zone face-off, that 3-man unit. It's going to be Blake Fletcher, Cole Horn, and Carson Fletcher. We get an offside call against Forestburg to slow things down a little bit. Flyers enter the zone, work it up to the point. Park fires a shot, but it hits his own teammate, doesn't make it to the net. Now Roth across the blue line to Park. He fires a shot, and that's blocked nicely by Horn. But the Flyers get it right back. Park once again, across the way to Roth. He fires a shot, goes off the stick of Fletcher, up and over the net. Horn is, you could tell, hurting a little bit from that block shot, and then he takes an accidental stick to the face from his own teammate. But then that Flyer shot rides up a Rustler's stick and over the glass into the netting. We get a whistle. 15 seconds remaining in the first Rustler penalty. Leggett is standing, ready to come on the ice. It'll be 4-on-4 hockey when he returns for the next 45 seconds. And as Leggett steps out of the box, he picks off a pass, quickly steps into the offensive zone, drops it for Carson James. He had to kick it up to his stick. Now he's going to skate around the back of the net. We're 4-on-4 for the next 18 seconds. James fires and scores. The James brothers each have one now on the night as Carson James gets on the board and extends the lead. It's 3-1 Rustlers at just about the halfway mark of the first period.
He was removed from number 37. First, Jamie, the same. 4-4. James conversion at 10-6. 4-4.
And now the Flyers with a chance at tight. Goodwin with a nice save, moving from his left to his right. He kicks that puck away. And now Wainwright comes the other way. It's Miller down the right wing. He gains the blue line, tries to feed it forward to Connor James. And then Comerford throws a massive hit in the Flyers zone. The Forestburg players a little offended by that, trying to throw the body back at Dicker, but he sidesteps that hit. Forestburg still gains possession of the puck. He fires a shot wide of the net. Now Jackson gets tied up behind the net, loses control of it. Horn now feeds it forward to Ty Mullet, who's the newest father on the Rustlers team, as his family welcomed their first child on Christmas Day, which is exciting. Congratulations to them as Davis makes a save on Mullet and a chance right at the top of the crease. But the Flyers goaltender holds on for a faceoff. We got 8:53 left in the first period. Rustlers leading 3-1. We're back to full strength 5-on-5 hockey now. As the Flyers get the puck in deep. Clausen chases it down behind the net. Puck bounces around there and Fletcher picks it up. Carson Fletcher shovels it forward to Aykroyd. Tries to feed it back in the backhand, but that pass off the mark. Rustler's able to keep it in the zone though. Now Leggett comes in and fires a shot. But the save made and went off the goaltender and up into the netting. Rustlers win the draw, and it's Connor James from the point. Walks down the wall, and his pass connects, but Ryder Tippler couldn't pull the trigger on the one-timer. Now it's Fletcher from the point. Feeds it to Hamilton. His backhander up high off the blocker of Davis and ends up behind the net. Chase Fletcher picks it up, feeds it to Connor James. James walks the line, gets it to Fletcher at the back door, but couldn't get enough on that to tap it home. Tippler gains the zone, kicks it forward for Hamilton, but he couldn't get to it in time, and the Flyers clear it out to center ice. Now the captain carries it across the blue line, steps around one Flyer, then fires a shot high over the net. Rustlers get the rebound and get it back to Berg at the Flyers blue line, but his attempt at dumping it in behind the net goes off the glass and up into the netting, and we get a face off. 7:16 now to go in the first period. As we slow things down a little bit, as Wines, the Flyers forward, is very slow to get up off the ice, gingerly making his way back to the bench. Rustlers win the draw, and it's Carson James who fires it around the boards. Dicker chasing it down, but he leaves it for Berg at the point. Miller not able to keep that pass inside the blue line, so the Rustlers regroup at center ice. James' pass goes off a skate, but ends up right back on a stick. But then his ensuing drop pass gets picked off, and the Flyers clear it. Now the Flyers able to gain the zone. They come in and fire a shot. Second opportunity, and they bury it. Alex Badgery, the Flyers captain, picks up the rebound and fires it low blocker side, beating Goodwin to the Flyers' second of the night, and it's now 3-2. We got a one-goal hockey game with 6:39 left in the opening period. And now Woodward carried us across the blue line, tries to drop pass, goes off his skate, but ends up on Comerford's stick anyway. Now Woodward from behind the net. Gets the horn at the point. His shot makes its way through traffic, but Davis kicks it aside. Flyers clear the zone, and that is going to be enough for icing, but the referee also has his hand up. And it's going to be a Rustler penalty once again. Cody Jackson heading to the box, 2 minutes for slashing. And the Flyers now down by only one. We'll get another power play opportunity. So because of the icing, the face-off to start the power play comes just outside the Russell blue line, and the Rustlers win it, quickly clearing the puck down the ice. Oh, wow. Roth sends the puck in deep. Goodwin comes out of his net to play it around the boards, and now Fletcher may have an opportunity, shorthanded. Nice little move and a nice drop pass to Carson James. But Davis with a great save. The Rustlers had a golden opportunity there for a shorty. Now the Flyers break out from in their own zone, but Berg stands them up at the red line, sending the puck back into Flyer territory. And now a huge hit right at center ice by Ty Miller. And being the gentleman he is, stopped to make sure Wines was okay before he skated away. Now the captain from the front of his own net sends the puck down the ice, is knocked out of the air so it doesn't get too deep. And the Flyers quickly come the other way, and then Berg lays a massive hit along the wall. Rustlers can't clear the zone though. And now a shot from the point is tipped right in front of the net and goes wide. A pass back to the point deflected by Tripler. They can't get out of the zone, but now a chance. It's Cole Ackroyd on a breakaway, shorthanded, comes in, fires and scores. Cole Ackroyd regains the 2-goal lead for the Rustlers on a shorthanded breakaway. And it's 4-2 Wainwright. 4:25 left in the first period, and the Rustlers just 21 seconds left to kill on this penalty kill.
Number 41 for Gordon Hackett. Good. Let's see here. Goal. On track. Good. Top 50 at 4:25. It's 4:98.
Rustlers not able to clear the zone, but Jackson steps out of the penalty box now, looks for the stretch pass. Now the Rustlers, another breakaway. It's Cody Jackson this time. Comes in, goes to the backhand, but Davis with what a glove save. Sprawling to his left and denying Cody Jackson and the Rustlers from getting a 3-goal lead. Flyers win the draw, try to play it around the wall, but Dicker's there to pick it up. And the Rustlers get possession. From the point, Fletcher just keeps it inside the blue line. Now Connor James takes his time skating it in behind the net. And now loose puck in the crease. Blake Fletcher comes away with it. Tries to feed it to Carson James, but the Flyers steal it away and send it down the ice. James feeds it forward to Dicker, picking up speed through the neutral zone. Drop pass to Fletcher, who tries to feed it over to Carson James, but that pass a little behind him. So he had to regroup and just send the puck into the corner. Now the Flyers send the puck in deep. It ends up right on net, and Goodwin's going to scoop that one up and hold on for safe measure. As we get a whistle with 2:56 left in the first period. Bouncing puck in front of the net is scooped up by Jackson. He feeds it forward, and now Hamilton down the left wing. Crosses the blue line, tries to feed it over to Mullet, but just out of his reach. The Rustlers pick it up just outside the blue line. And now Hamilton tries to bat it up to his forehand. Puck bouncing around, and a chance there for Fletcher. But Davis makes the save, and Hamilton gets hauled down. The Rustlers are going to get a power play. It's going to be tripping. And it's going to be Brock Dobbin heading to the penalty box. So 2.5 minutes to go in the first. The Rustlers is going to get a 2-minute power play opportunity. Flyers quickly cleared down the ice.
The Forestburg team leads.
And Connor James is there to pick it up. He gets it to Dicker, who slides it across to Carson James. He slows things down as the Rustlers look to set up their power play. Connor James walking the blue line. Gets it down to Dicker. Now back to James. From the point. Walks in, feeds it to his brother Carson, and his shot looks like he got deflected right in front of the net. They couldn't cash in. And now the Rustlers draw another penalty, but it doesn't matter as Gomerford blasts one home along the ice to make it a 5-2 hockey game. They score in the power play, and they've got another one coming, too. It's going to be Tyler Chris heading to the box, 2 minutes for cross-checking, and the Rustlers score on the power play and now get a fresh 2-minute power play with 1:48 left in the period. Hamilton wins the draw. Now Hamilton carries across the blue line, skates it down low behind the net, skates it all the way around the zone, feeding it over to Mullet on the left wing now. Back to Hamilton, and now Fletcher at the point. Gets it back to Hamilton along the half wall. He goes cross ice to Mullet, but it was a bit of a knuckle puck. He didn't get all of it, and Davis makes the save, holds on for the whistle. Flyers off the draw, try to clear the zone, but the Rustlers knock it down. Now Jackson from the point on the right side feeds it across to Miller. His shot steered away by the blocker of Davis. The Rustlers pick up the rebound. It's Jackson in the far corner. Gets it to Miller at the point now. Miller winds, doesn't fire. Gets it to Leggett. Back to Miller. Looking for a shooting lane. Thought he had one, but his shot rode up the stick of Alex Badgery and over the net into the netting with 50 seconds to go. Rustlers win the draw, but it bounced over Comerford's stick, and now the Flyers quickly down the left wing, but a good hustle from Connor James to put a stop to that quick shorthanded rush. And now Fletcher down the right wing leaves it for Comerford. He can't handle it though, and it gets knocked away, but Connor James picks it up just inside the blue line. To Fletcher, now back to James at the point. Steps around a defender, skates it into the corner, sends a pass back to the point, but couldn't be handled cleanly by Fletcher. 13 seconds to go in the period. Comerford slides it forward to Carson James. Time ticking away. He feeds it in front to Dicker, but he couldn't get a shot off. 4 seconds to go. James is going to shoot. That one goes wide of the net, and that's going to do it for the opening frame. It's a 5-2 lead for the Rustlers. It's been all special teams here in the first 20 minutes. We'll see if that continues throughout the game, but we're going to take a break here for the first intermission. We'll be back with you for the second period in about 20 minutes. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. And we are back for the second period. The Rustlers leading 5-2 after the first 20 minutes of play. They started the period on the power play, but 14 seconds in here, it is now over. So 5-on-5 hockey. Now Fletcher forces a turnover in behind the Flyers net. Chance in tight for Carson James. He takes a couple whacks at it, but can't bang one home. Now Dicker picks up the puck along the wall. Gets knocked off his stick. The Flyers can't clear it, though. Dicker gets it right back. James fires a high shot, but it's snagged out of the air by Davis and held onto for a whistle. Rustlers win the draw. It's Tipler from the half wall, spins and fires it in behind the net. Hamilton picks up the puck and tries to pick up the puck in the corner. Couldn't pick it up cleanly, but he's able to get it to Tipler nonetheless, and his shot gloved down by Davis. Miller from the point winds and fires a high shot just over the net. He had that top corner blocker side wide open and just missed it. Quickly, the Rustlers gain the zone once again. Hamilton puts a low shot on net. Davis gets down to the butterfly and stops that one. We get a whistle and then a little bit of rough stuff after the whistle, but nothing much comes of that. Flyers win the draw, skated around the back of the net, and flip it off the glass out to the neutral zone, but they don't get too far with it. Woodward enters the zone, steps around the pressure, passes it to the high slot. Comerford couldn't pick it up cleanly, but he's able to knock it back to the point. Berg's there, fires a shot that's deflected by Mullet, but goes wide of the net. And now a shot towards the goal gets deflected a couple times. The second time by a Flyer stick and was bouncing around in between the legs of Davis. But the Flyers cleared out of harm's way and down the ice for an icing call. Flyers win the draw working in behind the net. And they get it down the ice eventually. Horn's there to pick it up in the corner. Plays around the wall, and then Clausen gets decked from behind. Flyers keep possession of the puck. That shot from the point, though, is knocked down before it can make it to the net. Now Jackson swings it in behind the net. Leggett's there to chip it out to the neutral zone. Clausen trying to chase it down, but can't get there in time. The Flyers turn it up ice. You don't get very far with it, though, as Horn forces a turnover at the red line and then puts a shot on goal that's held onto for a whistle. And now that cross ice pass from the Rustlers gets picked off, and the Flyers come the other way. Up the middle of the ice, they get across the blue line, but not much further. Rustlers steal it back. And now Fletcher gets it to Dicker. He's got Carson James with him. He feeds it to James, and his shot goes off a skate and wide. Now Dicker gets his pocket picked. And coming the other way is Dobbin. But he gets pinched along the wall by Carson Fletcher. And now Connor James comes the other way. Steps around one flyer, feeds it over to his brother on the back post, but his shot goes just wide. Now Carson James gets it back, fires a high shot off the mask of Davis. His team picks up the rebound, flips it down the ice, and that's going to be an icing as the whistle blows. And we got 16:23 left in this second period, still 5-2. Same score we started the frame with. Flyers cleared off the wall and down the ice, and that's just barely going to be enough for icing. So back-to-back icing calls against the Flyers, and they're not too thrilled about the second one. Flyers win the draw and cleared up the wall. Berg leapt up in the air to knock it down and eventually regains the zone. Fletcher skates around the back of the net, feeds it out in front. A chance there for Tippler, but his shot goes wide. Hamilton picks up the loose puck at the side of the goal, feeds it to Tippler again, but his shot ends up right in the breadbasket of Davis. Now the Rustlers win the draw. Miller from the point fires a high shot that made its way through the traffic, knocked down by Davis with his shoulder, and now Berg with a chance from the point. That shot goes off a skate. And now a whiffed pass, and the Flyers step in with a chance to make something happen. The pass went off a stick and way up in the sky. The ensuing centering pass from the Flyers was stolen away by Miller. He feeds it forward towards Mullet, but just out of his reach. No chance here for Serbinik, but he gets hammered by Cole Horn. What a huge hit. And now the Rustlers clear the zone. It's Clausen down the right wing. Crosses the blue line. Steps to the outside, and then he gets thumped in the corner. As things are getting physical as we about 5 minutes here into the second period. Aykroyd throwing a couple shots with a Flyers player down there in the corner as well. Now Clausen gets it out across the blue line, shovels it across to Jackson. They gain the zone, but the Flyers quickly steal it away. They gain the red line, fired in right on goal. Goodwin knocks it down, and now that's going to be a slashing penalty against Aykroyd. Nobody in the building could have missed that one. The old two-hander across the hands. Snap the stick of Levi Congdon right in half, and it's going to be 2 minutes for slashing. Now the Flyers to start the power play come in with a quick shot that goes just wide of the net. They're just able to clear the zone, and now Carson James got on his horse trying to chase down that loose puck, but couldn't get there in time. The Flyers sent it all the way down the ice. They tipped it in from the blue lines, no icing. But Carson James picks it up, feeds it across to his brother in an open wing. They got lots of time, but then it gets knocked off Connor's stick. Fletcher there to pick it up. Fires it down the ice. Hamilton's coming in hot, looking to make something happen here, but just a little stick check, and then he gets back into position. Now Wines skates it into the zone. They get up to the point to Roth. He fires a low shot, kicked aside by Goodwin. Flyers get the puck in deep once again. Badgery from the side of the goal tries to bang one in. But Goodwin stands his ground, and now the Rustlers have a chance with numbers. It's Miller with the puck on his stick. He's got Hamilton with him. Miller fires a high shot. Looked like it might have gone off the mask of Davis and up into the netting over the glass. Flyers win the draw, and Woodward's throwing the body around in the corner. But Forestburg comes the other way quickly, fires a shot right into the legs of Berg, and Berg able to clear down the ice. That Flyers pass off the mark, and the Rustlers able to dump it in once again, and that should just about do it for the Ackroyd slashing penalty. The C now steps onto the ice, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey as Goodwin holds onto that puck in his crease, and we get a whistle. Now Woodward with a great effort on the penalty kill, and the Rustlers once again have numbers. Woodward comes in and fires, but the save made by Davis. Mullet got hauled down and went into the goaltender pretty hard, and now the puck trickles in, with the referee immediately waving it off. That puck just bounced over Colehorn's stick at the blue line, so the Rustlers have to check up on side, and they quickly gain the zone again. And the Flyers send the puck down the ice, and that's going to be an icing call.
Oh, because they wanted to be different from there, and I'm not surprised.
Now the Flyers off the draw, chip it out into the neutral zone, but Connor James chases it down, feeds it across to Fletcher. Gets it up to Chase Fletcher, but the Rustlers are offside, so they got to check up. Giving the Flyers a little bit of time to skate down the ice. And from the red line, they put it on goal. Goodwin snags it with his glove, and with a little bit of pressure in his face, he holds on for a faceoff. 11 minutes to go in the second period. No score here in the middle frame so far. It's still 5-2 for the Rustlers. Well, from in front of the Flyers bench, Dicker shovels the puck forward, tries to chase it down. And a great effort, but can't force a turnover. Forestburg plays it out to center ice. Then Fletcher's there to pick it up. Now Connor James from his own blue line. He uses his legs to step around the forecheck, try to feed it to Dicker, but that pass got picked off. And then an icing call that the Flyers are very unhappy about. Goodwin had come out to play it, but never touched it. So it looks like we're going to get a face-off at center ice. And now the Flyers send it in deep. Berg's the first man there. Swings it around to Miller in the near corner. He gets it forward to Hamilton and now to Fletcher. Back to Hamilton and across the way to Tipler, and he kicks it up to his stick. He got a great shot on goal, and then a tip from the point goes just wide. Tipler chips it in. Hamilton chases it down in behind the net. Feeds it out front. Clausen's there. He winds and fires, but didn't get all of that one, and it went wide of the net. Clausen picks up the clearing attempt as Horn puts a shot on goal. Couple chances there, and finally the Rustlers get a hold of it and slide one home. It's Chase Fletcher making it 6-2 for the Rustlers. We got just over 9 minutes to go in the second period. Now James knocks down a pass out of midair, fires a shot right on goal, knocked down by the glove of Davis, but he can't hold on to it. Now the Flyers try to make something happen through the neutral zone, but now they're somehow get away with what should have been an offside call, but they got away with one as the linesman was halfway down to the icing line. He didn't catch it, and then they bury one for a goal. Yeah. So it's now 6-3 as the Flyers get on the board once again. And now big hit thrown there on Woodward. The Rustlers get it back in their own end. Connor James steps around one player, steps around another. Now he comes flying down the left wing, but can't step around the sprawling defender. But he gets it right back. Stick handling in a phone booth, gets it to Mullet. He fires and scores, and the Rustlers, they get it right back. What an effort by Connor James. He could have stick handled his way through an anthill on that play. And he picks up a gorgeous assist. As Ty Mullet gets his first goal as a father. Congratulations to him. 7-3 for the Rustlers now. Shot from the point is swallowed up by Goodwin. Berg flips it up in the air, just barely across the blue line, so the Flyers have to hold up, giving the Rustlers a chance to clear the zone, and Miller's hard shot from the point goes just wide and over the net. Flyers pick off the Rustler pass there. And now Strauss down the right wing. Didn't have any teammates with him. His shot ends up going off a stick and into the near corner. And now a long shot from the point. There's a bit of a knuckle puck for Roth. And the blocker save made by Goodwin. Centering pass is stolen away by the Rustlers. And now James along the wall feeds it over to Fletcher. Rustlers with numbers again. It's Dicker feeding it across to James, but fans on the one-timer. Stretch pass to Badgery, and his shot bobbled a little bit by Goodwin, but he's able to scoop it up and hold on for a face-off. Horn throws another big hit. That's 3 or 4 big collisions for him in this one tonight. Centering pass ends up at the point. Knocked down by the blocker of Goodwin, that shot from the blue line. Now back to the point once again. That long shot goes wide of the net. The Flyers work it in behind the net. Horn there trying to chip it out of harm's way. Jackson picks it up. Feeds it across the way to Hamilton. Passes behind him, so he's got to swoop back. Feeds it forward to Leggett. What a gorgeous pass from Hamilton. And Leggett takes full advantage of the opportunity. Slides one along the ice, low blocker side. Making this an 8-3 hockey game.
And that's the goal, according to make number 5. Station that is just the 2-9. 2, 4, 6, 3.
Now the Flyers shot from the point hits Fletcher right in the seat of his pants. Now the Rustlers escape the zone. It's Connor James down the left wing. Looking for a pass, can't find one yet. Tries to feed it in front of the net, but it goes off a Flyers skate. Now Leggett feeds it to Fletcher, and his shot is blocked. Fletcher picks up his own rebound. Skates it into the slot, but it gets knocked off his stick. Now Pauls skates it down the ice, but he's getting harassed. Sorry, that was Congdon. Got knocked off his stick, and now Connor James from behind his own net. His great stretch past the Comerford, but he couldn't quite hold on to it, or he would have had a breakaway. And now the Flyers come the other way. They've got numbers, and they fumble the ball there on that opportunity. They could have had a 3-on-0, and they just turned it over at the blue line. Now the captain through the center of the ice. Tries to drop it for Mullet, but that pass gets picked off. Four and a half minutes to go here in the first period. Rustlers leading by 5. And the Flyers played in behind the Wainwright net. And that's going to be an icing call against the Flyers. With just over 4 minutes to go in the middle period. Now a shot from Jackson from the point gets steered wide of the net. Carson James Stick handling around along the wall. Eventually plays it in behind the net to Fletcher. Back to James. Drops it for Fletcher. Fletcher turns, looks to the net, doesn't pull the trigger. Got it stolen away, but steals it right back. He gets it to Jackson at the point. Cross the way to Horn. His shot, not much traffic in front, so swallowed up by Davis. Now Hamilton picks it up from behind the net, skates it towards the point, tries to drop it down for Tipler. He couldn't pick up the pass, and now the Flyers try to come the other way. They chip it forward, and Horn makes another hit, this time from his knees. Cole Horn's got to be sniffing double-digit hits already before the end of the second period. Now it's pinned along the wall in behind the net. Fletcher knocks it down. The Flyers eventually do get it out across the blue line. And now they steal it back at center ice, but Fletcher steals it right back. Can't gain the zone. We got a battle along the wall. Leggett's the one who comes away with it. Skates it himself through center ice. Feeds it across to Tipler. His shot high over the net. Carson Fletcher is able to keep it in deep. But the Flyers pick it up. Tried to play it off the glass, but it went off the linesman. So they regroup at their own blue line and now come the other way. And another shot from center ice is steered away by the blocker of Goodwin. Ackroyd chips it in deep. Clausen's there, tries to feed it to Ackroyd in front. Couldn't get much on that shot. And now Mullet picks off a pass, steps in, spins and fires along the ice. But Davis able to hold on and gets the whistle. And now some rough stuff behind the net. Ackroyd gets upended. The referee's got his hand in the air. Something's going to happen here. Looks like Ethan Taylor is going to make his way to the box for the Flyers.
That's right. For 44.
So the Rustlers on the power play. Ethan Taylor gets 2 minutes for cross-checking. And now James from the point. Him and Comerford play ticky-tack back and forth. James from the bottom of the circle gets it to Comerford, but his shot gets blocked. He gets it right back and plays it into the corner. Fletcher there to scoop it up. And now James from the point. Once again, he steps in and fires. Goes off the blocker of Davis, and they clear down the ice. The Flyers do, and that's going to be an icing, or not an icing call. It's going to be a Rustler penalty. It's going to be Calvin Dicker. Head to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. So we'll have 4-on-4 hockey for presumably the remainder of the period. There's 55 seconds to go before the horn. Now some confusion as to where the face-off should be. And eventually they make the right call. The face-off is inside the wrestler zone. And Wainwright wins the face-off. It's Miller taking his time, trying to find an outlet. But his pass gets picked off, but then he steals it right back. Chips it forward to Hamilton. The Rustlers just stay onside. James fires a shot, went off the blocker of Davis. Now the Flyers come the other way. That puck got knocked off the stick of Strauss. And then Berg comes away with it with 23 seconds to go in the period. He flips it up in the air. James couldn't knock it down, but eventually the Rustlers get it back. Hamilton's got it with 13 seconds to go. Gets knocked off his stick. Berg keeps it inside the blue line. Fires a long shot from the point, and that's held on to for a whistle with 6.5 seconds remaining. And the Flyers win the draw. They'll hammer it around the wall, and the buzzer will go. That will do it for 40 minutes of play. It's an 8-3 lead for the home team through two periods. And we'll come back for the third with 4-on-4 hockey for 21 seconds, followed by a Forestburg power play. And we are going to take a break for the intermission. We'll be back with you in about 20 minutes to start the third and final period. Sorry for the delay, folks, but we are back. We're in the third period. It's 8-3 for the Rustlers. No. We got Mullet from his own end. Sends a pass towards Clausen, but he got upended just inside the blue line. And now Berg picks up the loose puck behind his own net. Ackroyd tries to play it off the wall, but it hit a skate, and the Flyers able to get it in behind the Rustler net. Berg flips it into the neutral zone, but it gets stolen away by the Flyers. They can't get it very deep, and now the Rustlers might have a chance here, but Ackroyd can't chip it around the Forestburg defender. Flyers send it in deep once again. Leggett's going to be the first man there. Swings it around to Berg, and he drops it for Miller. He sends it forward for Hamilton, out across the blue line, feeding it over to Fletcher, but he had his stick tied up and couldn't pull the trigger on a shot. Now gets to Carson Fletcher, sneaking in from the point with a save made. He kicked into the corner. Now we got Chase Fletcher in behind the net. Up to Carson at the point, across the way to Connor James. He gets it to Hamilton in the high slot, and his shot was bouncing around in the blue paint. But Davis eventually jumps on it and holds on for a faceoff. Rustlers win the draw now. Carson James walks it into the corner and in behind the net, but a puck started rolling on him and he couldn't control it. Dicker gets upended along the wall. And now the Flyers skated out. And the 50-50 winner goes to our lovely camera woman's husband. So I'm sure she'll get treated to a nice dinner, maybe a bottle of wine. Maybe they'll even invite me. We'll see. We get an offside call here. We got 14:44 left in the third period. As the Moneybags returns to his seat, the puck is dropped, and away we go. Forestburg with the puck at center ice. They fire a hard shot from the red line, but it's wide of the net. Horn in behind his own net, waiting for something to happen. He feeds it to Jackson. He goes up the wall to Comerford. We can't pick it up cleanly. And the Flyers come the other way. That shot low and wide of the net. Rustlers pick up the rebound, and now it's Jackson. Gave it away momentarily along the wall, but the Rustlers clear the zone out to the Forestburg blue line. Berg's able to chip the puck in deep for Wainwright. And the Flyers played around the wall, but Clausen knocks it down, gets it in deep for Ackroyd. Now up to the point to Berg. He's got Miller on the other side. He winds and fires, but that goes wide of the net. Berg picks it up, feeds it back to Miller. He fires a shot, but it goes off a Forestburg stick, and they clear the zone out to center ice. They come flying down the left wing, but nothing doing there as that rush is broken up. And that stretch pass towards Hamilton off the mark, but he gets to it first, and the icing is waved off. Will spin-a-rama in the corner to give himself some space, and he feeds it back to Tipler. His shot gets knocked down, and then we get a goal. I'm not sure who shoveled it in at the side of the net. It's either Hamilton or Fletcher. And at this point of the game, there's no flyby of the bench, so I'm not sure. It looks like it might be Hamilton will get credit for that one.
Donald McDonald, Gordon, Frank, number 16, Delta Hamilton, so number 16, Frank, Fletcher, number 3, Ryder, Keeper, 4, 39.
Hamilton carries it across the blue line now, feeds it across the Tipler. He leaves it there for James. Connor James feeds it out into the blue paint just in front of the net, but nobody could get a stick on it, but he gets it back just inside the blue line. He walks across the left side. His shot goes off a stick and wide of the net. Fletcher able to keep the puck in deep. Now in front of the Zamboni doors. And they get it down low to Hamilton and feeds it to the back door to Tipler. And his redirect goes wide. Now the Rustlers get a little crossed up at the top of the faceoff circle, but they're able to maintain possession. Carson Fletcher along the wall, gets it down low to Chase Fletcher. Now to Hamilton. His no-look pass ends up on the wall, and the Rustlers get it back to the point. Tipler with it now. Nice little sauce pass over to Connor James. He feeds it into Chase Fletcher, and that shot goes wide. The Flyers still can't clear the zone. Tipler keeps it inside the blue line, but only momentarily. The Flyers eventually do clear it. But now Connor James comes down the left wing. Tries to feed it to his brother, but just out of his reach, goes off a skate and in behind the Forestburg net. Now Carson James gets it back, gets it to Dicker. He sidesteps a hit, but loses control of the puck in doing so, and the Flyers come the other way. They send a shot from the neutral zone on net, kicked aside by Goodwin. And now Blake Fletcher with the puck on his stick, gathering speed through the neutral zone, crosses the blue line down the left wing, gets it to Dicker, steps around a defender. His shot goes off a shin pad and ends up in the far corner. Now Horn from the point. Gets it to Carson James. His shot gets knocked down. And the clearing attempt from the Flyers takes a weird hop off a stanchion and ends up all the way down the ice. They're going to call no icing. Jackson down the left wing, shovels it forward to Dicker. But he can't hold on to the puck. The Flyers come the other way. Berg throws a hit, but Forestburg maintains possession, gets a shot on goal. But Goodwin stands his ground and covers that one up for a faceoff. We've reached the halfway mark of the third period, 9:56 to go in this one. The Rustlers leading by 6. It's 9-3. Woodward sneaks past a hit on the wall, tries to feed Mullet in front of the net, but it hopped over his stick. Now Woodward gets it back. His pass goes off the stick and way up in the sky. Comerford knocks it down, takes a whack at it at the side of the goal, but Davis holds on. Now the Rustlers win the draw, and it's Miller from the point. Looks to the back post, and Woodward couldn't get a stick on it. Now Miller picks it up in the corner, plays it in behind the net. Forestburg steals it away, plays it off the glass out into the neutral zone. Berg plays it to an open wing, and Miller's there to get it. Feeds it forward to Mullet. Mullet winds and fires, but right in the breadbasket. And Davis gets a whistle.
Oh, it's that way. Like that.
Little equipment malfunction for the goaltender, so we take a second to let him get situated. And that puck just squeaks out over the blue line, so the Rustlers regroup. It's Leggett in the corner. He plays it down low for James. He heads up ice, feeding it to Aykroyd. Boston receives the pass and plays it in deep. Now Aykroyd from the side of the net chips the puck forward through the blue paint. But we get a whistle here, and I'm not too sure why. Maybe the referee thought the goaltender had the puck covered. Quick whistle. Rustlers win the draw. From the point, Fletcher fires a shot, and it gets knocked down. The Flyers get a hold of it, play it off the wall down the ice, not deep enough for icing. So Carson Fletcher chases it down and then leaves it there for Connor James. Hamilton receives a stretch pass, gets it to the point to James. His pass goes off a stick, ends up in the corner. But he gets it back and plays it in deep. Hamilton feeds it over to Horn. Horn fires a shot. That's swallowed up by Davis. And we get a face off with 7:52 to go in the third period. Carson James fires a shot from the point. That's kicked aside by Davis. And the Flyers get a hold of it and clear the zone, but they can't get too far with it. And now they're offside.
Russell by the track, he's forward strong for it. Park and Churchill, top of the leader. It's fine, and they need it high.
That shot from outside the blue line is held onto by Goodwin. The referee tells him to play it. And now the Rustlers with speed down the right wing. It's Blake Fletcher, steps into the slot, fires a shot, but held onto by Davis, who's been peppered with shots tonight. 44 of them on the shot clock so far. The Flyers win the draw, but they can't get it out of the zone. And now we get a whistle. Looks like the net came off. So we'll reset things. Comerford wins the draw forward to himself and tries to tuck one home, but Davis stands his ground, makes a good save. And we'll do it all over again. Comerford wins it forward again, but can't pick it up cleanly this time. Woodward gets bumped off the puck just outside the blue line, but the Rustlers get it in anyway, but it's offside. And Wainwright wins the draw. It's Miller down the right side from the neutral zone, puts it on net. Kicked aside by Davis. And now Woodward from the corner. Plays it around to Mullet. He passes it out in front, looking to Comerford. But he didn't get a whole lot on that shot. Davis makes a save. Wainwright wins the draw, and Berg's shot from the point goes off the side of the net. Same thing for Clausen. Now Forestburg clears it, but Miller gets to it just inside his own blue line. Now he's going to swoop back behind his own net. Up the right wing, it's Clausen sending it forward to Leggett. Back to Clausen now, and he passes it to an open wing, but Aykroyd wasn't there. He does get to it, plays it in behind the net. His centering pass from behind the net doesn't connect, but the Rustler is able to keep it inside the blue line. Now Carson Fletcher plays it in deep. He's going to chase it himself, throws a big hit in the corner. And the Rustlers gain possession. Fletcher with a shot from the point, but it gets knocked down. And now Forestburg from the neutral zone. They carry it across the blue line, but don't get very far. And the Rustlers just go offside by a stride. And we get a whistle with 4:42 left in the third period. And we get another offside whistle here. So we'll reset, do it again. Rustlers are offside, so they got to check up. Giving the Flyers a chance here, and they are offside on their own account on that stretch pass. Now Horn through the neutral zone. Carries it across the blue line. Winds and fires, but that's wide. Wainwright gets it in deep again. The Forsberg slings it around the wall, then just sends it out to center ice where the Rustlers are waiting for it. Jackson plays it in deep. And the Flyers will send it down the ice. That's going to be no icing. The Rustlers just barely avoided too many men penalty. Dicker's pass goes off a skate. He tries to get it back, but it gets tripped up. Now Miller gets deep in the zone, skates around the net, and a wraparound attempt, but Davis somehow makes a pad save, going from his left to his right and stopping that wraparound chance. And the Flyers cleared out to center ice again. Three minutes to go in this one. That cross ice pass to Fletcher was off the mark, and they're going to call that icing. Well, coming up next for the Rustlers, they got a 2-game weekend next week, which is a rare sight in this senior hockey league. But they'll be at home next Friday night as they host the Huenton Jets from just down the road. That'll be a good matchup. And we'll bring you all the action here on YouTube as usual for all the home games. And the following night, they'll head down to Coronation to take on the Royals. Coronation and Huenton both in the bottom third of the East Central Senior Hockey League standings as it stands currently. So the Rustlers with a chance to climb the leaderboard as we quickly approach playoffs in just a handful of weeks. Now Connor James, what a nice move. Connor James just making the Flyers look silly on that goal. Toe drags around a defender. Toe drags the goaltender at the top of the crease. Puts the backhand top shelf. And the Rustlers are up by a touchdown.
Now
Now a chance for the Flyers. A shot along the ice is kicked aside by Goodwin. James will ring it around the wall, but can't get it out of the zone. Flyers get it to the point. They fire a shot that's knocked away with the blocker by Goodwin. Woodward picks it up behind his own net, gets it to Mullet. They'll send a hard pass towards Comerford, but it's picked off. And now the Rustlers regroup. It's Fletcher sending it ahead to Mullet. He gets a piece of it, but can't hold on to it. And Forestburg comes the other way. Horn breaks up that rush with his skates. Trying to throw another huge hit. He's been a hit monster tonight. And we hit the final minute of this one. Goodwin holds on to that one for a whistle. We got 46 seconds to go. And a couple guys get tangled up in front of the Rustler bench. Things are getting a little chippy down there in the final minute of the third. And then Carson James gets teed up. He'll head to the room early. Not sure what the original penalty is, but the second one's going to be unsportsmanlike. So Leggett will serve the penalty for James. With 46 seconds to go, the Flyers will get a 4-minute power play, and they score on it right away. Forestburg makes it 10-4 now. And their 4-minute power play will turn into a 2-minute power play with 42.8 seconds to go in the third period. And now we got some rough stuff going on. Wines had fallen to the ice, I think, on his own, and then one of the Rustlers, I didn't see who, took a whack at the puck. Looked like they got a stick in Wines' face. He's been on the ice almost every other shift tonight. Seems to be hurt all game long. But this one definitely got him good. No penalties come of that. Still 5-on-4 power play for the Flyers in this last 35 seconds.
Line. Forward. The whole 43 seconds on the field.
And Miller will take his time, send the puck down the ice, and now we're going to get maybe a fight. We're going to get a fight. It's going to be Ty Miller. He's feeding them with rights. Feeding them. Absolutely feeding them with rights. And now they get tangled up a little bit. Now an uppercut. A couple over the top. Another uppercut. Miller's got his opponent's helmet off. He goes down to his knees, and now the linesmen are going to break it up. What a tilt. Ethan Taylor is going to be tasting Ty Miller's right fist for a couple of days. That was an exciting one to wrap up this game as we got 20 seconds to go. So we won't be seeing Ty Miller next Friday here in Wainwright when they host the Huendon Jets. He'll be administered a suspension for a fight in the final stages of the third period. Now the officials will sort things out here before we wrap up this contest. Now we got all 9 skaters on the ice listening to what the referee has to say. Mullet having some feisty words with the referee. And looks like we all got it sorted out now. It'll remain 5-on-4. We got 20 ticks left on the clock. See if we get any more fireworks in the last few seconds here. And that's going to do it. An exciting finish to a blowout game here in Wainwright as the Rustlers roll over the Forestburg Flyers. It's a 10-4 final score. And the Rustlers will improve to 8-4 on the season. Forestburg drops to 0-10-2. And that'll do it for tonight. We'll be right back here again next Friday night when the Huendon Jets come to town. It's an 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time puck drop. And we will see you then. Until then, stay warm, stay safe. We'll see you next week.